Healthy Rebel Radio is sponsored by the Healthy Rebel app. 300 plus secretly healthy, delicious, mouth-watering dessert and treat recipes made with all-natural, whole food ingredients. Now available for download on the App Store and Google Play. Find out more details at healthyrebel.com.
Welcome to Healthy Rebel Radio. I'm your host, Dr. David Deiser. I'm here with my Damien Health Healthy Rebel co-founder, Amy Lane. Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm just so pumped about our announcement yesterday, and I can't stop thinking about it. I mean, yesterday was my first chance to tell patients. Everyone who comes in, before they even say anything, I'm just, guess what?
They must think you're so weird.
Oh, yeah. It's fun, though.
You're a geek.
For sure. You have to be.
I can't talk about it every day.
No, I know.
It's a long haul.
And we won't on the show.
Okay.
Well, I might. You don't have to.
I just can't do it.
Today we're talking veggies.
Ooh.
That's a good topic.
Mm-hmm.
Veggies are so insanely important. And I was reading some stats this morning. The article that this morning's show is going to start with and is based on is from Time Magazine, time.com. And this writer's talking about veggie intake, and they mentioned the U.S. stats first. 87% of people in the U.S. are not getting the recommended daily veggie intake of just 2 to 3 cups a day.
Mm-hmm.
Are you surprised by that?
No.
87%, that's everyone, basically.
Mm-hmm.
That needs to change.
I don't know if it's going to. You know, I mean, we've been to the States. We've driven across the country twice. Aside from all our travel to the States, we've actually, I mean, if you're driving across the States, you're really in the States.
Oh, you get to know it really quickly.
And you get to go into all the small towns and the big cities, and you get to explore, and we took a whole month and did that, and it's just a highly processed place. I'm not surprised at all. From what we saw. The stat
that really surprised me was that over the last 5 years, veggie consumption is actually decreasing.
Yes, because everyone is so brainwashed into the vegetables are so expensive and the cheap food is so cheap.
I would just think it would be going the other way by now.
I know you think that, but the information we spread, we're still the smaller voice. Mm-hmm. Because we're so absorbed in it and it's our lifestyle and where we live, our neighborhood is like the healthiest neighborhood and health conscious, and you know, it's like that conversation we had about moving to Nova Scotia. We, you know, our families are all in Nova Scotia, and you know, our families would love us to live there. But the challenge with moving to Nova Scotia is we would have to not only do what we do there, but then we would be faced with the burden of educating everyone about what we do, because natural health and being healthy and healthy lifestyles are still foreign there. And
I think it's changing. I feel like it's evolving. I mean, I get the impression it is based on what I'm seeing.
And what I'm saying, I think it's really slow. And I think that we don't realize how slow it is because of where we live. We're in such a natural health hub that there's no explanation here. You'd never have to explain anything to anybody.
Well, let's start with vegetables.
Yeah.
I mean, vegetables it should be the core component of your diet. I mean,
yes, that's the basis
of everything. And there's many, many reasons for this, and I can highlight some of the research-based reasons today, but the core nutrient value of vegetables is just so important to know. And having a variety gives you basically a variety of different nutrients. You're going to get vitamins and minerals, different versions and different ratios if you have a variety of different vegetables.
And just a note on the variety, because people get overwhelmed. Like, I can't buy all the vegetables. You know, I either live alone and they'll go bad, or I can't buy all the vegetables because I can only spend so much each week. Your variety of vegetables, and same with variety of your diet, should be more based on a few days span and not one day. Mm-hmm. So when we're saying a variety of anything, you know, if in a day you have just, 3 types of vegetables, but great healthy portions of them, and then 3 days later you go and shake that up when you go to the grocery store and get, like, we're talking about over a longer period of time. We've learned that nutrients, it's about, a healthy week versus
that's what I was going to say. One thing we do is choose different vegetables on different grocery orders.
And different fruits. That's a big thing for us. We shake it up.
Don't buy the same thing every week. Buy a different version.
Right.
At least a few things different.
Yeah.
I mean, many things are going to be the same, obviously, in the vegetables and fruit category, but switching it up is best.
Especially if you're eating within season, which is always a great idea. It's a great way to save money, and it's a great way to make sure that you're having a more locally sourced, non-GMO option. But, shake it up as well as you can. But again, don't stress about it. Don't get hung up on those types of details. Just load in those veggies the best you can.
In fact, most of your plate, right?
Oh, yes.
Most of your plate, every meal should be fruits and vegetables.
Yes. Half of your plate, at least, should be fruits and vegetables.
Definitely. And let's go over some of the reasons why. Number 1, skin health. Appearance. I mean, if you're looking to have a healthy glow, if you're looking to, improve your external appearance, or if you're just trying to keep healthy skin,
clear skin.
Maybe you're suffering from some sort of skin condition. The research is extremely good for a high vegetable, nutrient-dense diet.
Yes.
And on that note, the reason being of the antioxidant potential, we know that antioxidants, what they do is they clear oxidation in the body. So if you're suffering from poor detox, or if you're living an unhealthy lifestyle, antioxidants will help reverse that. But on the appearance side of things, some studies have been done, and I'm not sure if you know this, but some longer term studies where people are looking at attractiveness, and they've put people into categories, and they've had them do different diets. And the most recent one I read was about the people, they compared suntans versus eating high vegetables. And this is probably what the design of the study probably wasn't excellent. But what they found at the end was that the people judged the attractiveness of the group who ate more vegetables more attractive than the people who got suntans. Basically, is the idea.
Right. So instead of just trying to skip to looking healthy, grab the healthy glow by just adding the tan, the people that really did the work, so built the glow from the inside out. I mean, you can spot someone that has a healthy diet. You can clear eyes, clearer skin, a healthy glow. There's something. It's there. You can spot it.
That's the thing. With this study, they did 6 weeks. So they had before pictures, they had after pictures, and they had 6 weeks of high veggie consumption. And then they had, an outside party rate the attractiveness. And that's exactly what they found. Clear skin, clear eyes.
At this point, I can spot someone that is having issues with dairy. I can spot someone that has too many carbohydrates. And I can spot someone that is on like a high meat paleo, high fat. I can spot it. I can see it.
Oh, for sure. And
it has a physical appearance.
And you could see it in meat. I used to be someone who ate meat with every meal, like many do. But I was, I don't know if I would say obsessed, but meat was the core component of my diet. And everyone used to joke, and I would be along with the joke, that I would get meat sweats.
Yeah, and you thought that's just what your body...
I thought, people just sweat when they eat meat.
He's talking about just eating the meat and then breaking into a sweat.
I'm talking about just sitting down and sweating during supper.
Oh.
And I played on many different basketball teams, and of course there's a running joke that Dave had the meat sweats. But yeah, that's how my body reacted, just instant. And obviously that's not good for your skin, when you're just
it's a sign that your body's trying to detox.
If you're constantly detoxing through the skin in the form of sweating, and I mean, you can't just
on that level.
You can't just clear those. You can't shower every 2 minutes or after every meal. I mean, that's not going to work. So something's happening, and they've done studies where they've looked at changes from high meat consumption diets to high veggie consumption diets. We're not saying get rid of meat completely. We're saying that increase the amount of vegetables you have, and you'll be eating less meat. And the skin changes, they do occur. It's important. Well, I mean, other foods can be considered inflammatory when consumed too much. We talk about omega-6 to omega-3 ratio a lot. You get omega-6s more when you eat meat. Not talking about fish, just all other meat. And, it's inflammatory in the skin when you raise those levels too high. So, yeah, it happens. The next thing, I mean, we should probably talk about dieting and weight loss.
Sure.
our programs that you've been coaching people through since 2009 have stayed the same on veggie consumption. Every single meal.
Some things have evolved, but one thing that never evolves is load the veggies in. And I give a minimum of veggies and that's why I'm not surprised by what you're saying, because the minimum I give, people think that's crazy. And I don't want to scare them. So I set, okay, so have this much veggie, per meal. And then once people get into their check-ins and we get a month or two in, I say, okay, so are we comfortable with this? Let's up this a little bit. And, because sometimes you have to live something for a little bit before you make, we've talked about this before, where, you don't have to go all in. You don't have to go like a crazy person. But veggies is a really easy thing to up in your diet, even if you're keeping everything else the same, where other things are going to shift and you're going to see good benefits. If you want to, even if I can't guarantee you're going to lose weight if you don't change anything else, but you're definitely going to eliminate better. Your digestion's going to be better, and there's a greater chance of having weight loss from nothing else but upping your veggies.
Well, I can guarantee it. I mean, the research is excellent for this.
But I want everyone to change everything else too and achieve those wonderful results.
For sure.
Because it's kind of like, I don't like, you know what I mean? It's kind of like picturing someone eating a beautiful, big, antioxidant-rich salad and then, having a piece of cake.
For dessert, yeah, exactly.
Right? So I want people to not only lose body fat, I want people to be healthy.
Definitely.
I want everyone to feel good. I want everyone to really understand the concept of chasing health and the side effect being a fabulous body that you feel comfortable and great in.
For sure.
Right?
For sure. And in doing so, what do you recommend? How do you recommend getting more veggies in?
Just do it. Just rip off the Band-Aid. Like I say, when, a parent that makes decisions for a child because they know it's better for them, even if the child's having a hissy fit and saying, I don't want it, and you're just like, it's too bad. I know better. That's why we have parents and we guide them until their brains fully develop, into late teens. It's the same concept. Sometimes your higher self has to come in and be like, too bad, whiny baby, you have to eat your veggies.
Yeah, for sure.
You just have to be harsh with yourself once in a while, and you're actually doing something that may make you uncomfortable at first, that is the greatest loving thing you can do for yourself. Sometimes we get on these self-love journeys and we think that being uncomfortable is against the self-love journey, when it's completely the opposite. We have to make choices that are higher for ourselves, and change can be uncomfortable, especially if you're someone that's resistant to change. But changing is the only way to truly live and to truly optimize anything, including your health and your life. You have to evolve. You have to change.
Definitely. That being said, some people are going to be resistant to that idea.
Right.
Where it's just where you say, come on, add more veggies in. You can do this. There can be ways to make it more simple. One thing I recommend, I don't know if you do this, but people like hummus. Hummus, it's easy to get vegetable consumption in when you like hummus. So one thing I recommend is, have veggies and hummus once a day.
Yeah, well, see, I don't even consider that. I just, when people are not having if they're having a lot of packaged snacks, I'll say, okay, your afternoon snack from now on for this week straight is vegetables and 1/3 of a cup of hummus. I do that naturally.
Do a replacement, of course.
Yeah.
The other thing that I know we do, and that I think you use as a sneaky way to get more vegetables into my diet, is just add spinach to smoothies. Because that's easy, and the nutrient value you get from that. Yeah,
I just rotate spinach, kale, whatever kind of greens I have that are rich, and I just shove as much as I can into our smoothies. And spinach is one of those things, more so than kale. Spinach you can't really taste in smoothies. Spinach has more of a flavor when it's cooked in foods.
Don't be scared of spinach.
But don't be scared of spinach. I use spinach even to color, raw vegan frostings. You could never taste it.
No,
so
isn't that awesome?
Yeah, it's wonderful.
So just with those two tips alone, if you do hummus and 2 cups of veggies in the afternoon and you put a handful of spinach in your smoothie in the morning, you just reach the 3-cup mark. So already you've got nutrient density increase quite significant. some of the other things, I mean, obviously adding a salad to every meal, or at least to supper and lunch, is quite simple because it only takes a second.
That's what I say, supper and lunch.
Oh.
And if you don't want to cook veggies, if you're in the trap of, I don't have time, this can't happen, just do salads.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Make it just part of your supper and lunch.
And then digestion-wise, I mean, there's so much benefit to soups and stews. And to be able to throw veggies into soups and stews, it really changes your nutrient consumption, because now you're getting a little bit of already pre-cooked, just a bit, so easier to digest, nutrients straight to the veins.
And in the winter, we do a lot of oven roasted, just low heat for a longer period of time. I'll just take all the vegetables, I'll toss them in some spices, and put a little bit of salt, pepper, and a coconut oil. Toss them all together, put them on a flat sheet, and bake them.
Yeah.
And I mean, with that, we can have them on the side of meals. I can then put that in soup, and it has that roasted sweet flavor. Or I can, toss it on top of a salad for us, so it's like a cooked plus raw salad. Like, making up every time you cook, one of the best tips I have for healthy eating and what I do, every time I cook, I make more than expected. And then I can use that, if I'm doing, a big lunch for us and there's a quinoa and whatever in it, I'll make lots. So then, the next day, if I'm really hungry at lunch and I don't have a lot of time, or I feel like I've waited too long and I'm starving, I'll take that quinoa, toss it into a salad. It just makes life easier.
Exactly.
If you have some roasted veggies, throw that into, and it's this delicious mix of a salad.
Oh, it's the best. It's the best. Yeah, it's great. You make it seem easy, and I know it feels easy for you because you've been in it for so long. But these tips, I mean, that's an excellent tip right there. That changes everything because it's so simple.
Right.
So simple. When you're looking at weight loss, now we've got 5-10-year studies from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition showing people who eat more veggies gain less weight over that period of time.
Right.
And we know that because of the fiber and antioxidant potential, veggies help with weight loss. I mean, if you switch out, this is the example they provide in the article. This is such a great example. If you switch out 1 cup of rice for 2 cups of spinach into a meal. So the base of your meal is spinach instead of rice. Rice has 200 calories. That spinach has 15.
Right.
Just doing that alone.
I know.
Changes your calorie consumption.
And the other thing you can do, because that's not a great change, is cauliflower rice.
Exactly.
Like if you still want the texture of rice,
idea,
I use cauliflower rice. Same within soups and stews. If I don't feel like there's enough vegetables in there, I will at the same time steam some cauliflower. It takes like 7 minutes. I'll toss it in my food processor, and I'll add the pure silky puree right to my soup base. So then you're having, you and I will be having.
That's delicious too.
2 cups of cauliflower and not even realize it. So,
it's nice.
There's so many sneaky ways that don't take a lot of time.
No, exactly.
And cauliflower rice is the exact opposite. You just take it raw, you put it in your food processor, you pulse it until you see the rice texture. You use a little coconut oil, salt, pepper, if you want garlic or if you want a flavor, you can use those things. Put it in the pan and you just heat it until it's translucent, maybe 3 to 5 minutes. So quick.
Nice.
You can't tell me that's not quick.
For sure. I love it. And it's delicious. I reap the benefits.
Right.
I know all about it.
Yes.
I don't know how to make it. I just learned.
You know how to make it. You pretend you don't know how to make it, so you get out of making it.
Yes. I learned this from you.
That is a tactic you learned from me. A tactic I use in our household is I'll purposely not learn things so that I don't have to do them.
Yes.
Hot tip of the day.
And there's your tip. If you got anything from this episode, that's the tip. It's
Ladies?
Very valuable.
No.
But we've already talked about constipation. We talked about bowel movements a bit. And the high fiber component of veggies is incredibly important because we're,
Just going from poor digestion to having great digestion is a game changer. You don't realize how much poor digestion, lazy bowels, the whole thing, how much it negatively affects you until you don't have it anymore, and then you're just walking on air.
To go from constipation to non-constipation is incredible. I mean, for the bloating aspect.
Oh yeah, feeling heavy, just feeling sluggish.
Yes.
Oh, there's a big difference.
And veggies are just incredible for that. I mean.
And water.
Oh, you have to have water at the same time.
Always your water.
You're gonna have problems.
Yeah.
For sure. just to finish up here, there's lots of research about veggies supporting your workouts. But, we've got some certain veggies that are good in high performance. We've got certain veggies for recovery. We've got a whole host of different categories of options here. The basics are you need vegetables for nutrients. You need to eat them. If you're working out, you have to consume vegetables for sure. Mm-hmm. There are some reports of certain things speeding up healing. Watercress is an example, where there's some studies that have been done where it speeds healing. Tomato juice has showed some good research for exercise-induced stress reduction. But really, it's all about just getting colorful, abundant, nutrient-dense foods in.
As much a wide variety as you can.
It's going to help you work out more. It's going to increase your cardiovascular fitness, your blood vessel integrity. I mean, we know when it comes to blood pressure and cholesterol buildup that garlic, onions, and celery has good research for reducing those negative risk factors for cardiovascular events. Mm-hmm. So really, if you do these things, you're going to perform better, you're going to be able to work out harder, you're going to feel better while you work out, and then you're going to recover quicker. And then in terms of high endurance athletes or in people who are looking to improve performance, beetroot juice has good research around it. And we've talked about this on the blog a few times because...
Yeah, and you should link the beetroot juice blog post we did.
I will, because beetroot juice is being used by many, many Olympic athletes for increasing endurance, and the results are good. The problem is you have to just drink a ton of it. You have to drink it every single day.
But I've enjoyed it just as a pre-workout boost. I've had positive effects. Like, I'm not going to use it like an Olympic athlete, but I've had it pre-workout, and it has made me...
For sure.
It's given me like a pre-energy, like a pre-workout boost. It really did.
Oh, it's awesome.
So, I mean, you don't have to get stressed about that. You can use it as you wish.
Still use it. I mean, there are some reports of just using it once, increasing your endurance by 16% for that day, 16 ounces before an exercise. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's excellent. I mean, it makes you feel quite good.
Yeah.
So you just juice beetroots.
Yeah, it's
a glass or two. The final thing we'll end with here is... I mean, we talked about weight loss. Along the same lines comes chronic disease. Veggies help prevent chronic disease. I mean, if you're eating the other options, if you're eating more carbohydrates, especially high glycemic, if you're eating more meat consumption, especially along the red meat, processed meats, you're going to be at higher risk of chronic disease. I mean, it's proven. So if you increase your veggie consumption, those risks are going to go down. But veggies also improve happiness. So there's been studies done where people change their diets and start to eat more healthy vegetables and fruits, I should say, in this category. Mm-hmm. And mood increases. Mm-hmm. You start to notice. I mean, maybe it's because you're not constipated anymore.
I think it's many things. I think you're getting nutrients to your brain. Mm-hmm. That I think sometimes we underestimate, we're so busy trying to move the pieces of our circumstances, our external life to see where our happiness will best lie. And really, the reality is that the goal is to be happy no matter what's going on.
Yes.
And a lot of that has to do, obviously with self-work and all that stuff and making yourself a stable person, but you have to also supply the nutrients to your brain to do that. Mm-hmm. And have a stable, blood sugar and mood and energy and hormones. I mean, it's just very easy to see when you break it down.
Oh, for sure. I mean, you need to make these neurotransmitters. I mean, people get surprised when I teach them about the resources required to make serotonin, dopamine. I mean, you need very specific nutrients to make this happen. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, you need to be in a situation where you have slept enough, or you've exercised as well, can contribute to positive effects for this.
And the holy grail, really, to life is to be happy and healthy, no matter what the external circumstances. That's the real key. So no matter what's going on, you're okay.
Exactly.
And that's the majority of that is within your control. Yeah. And it's just little steps on a daily basis, and then all of a sudden, something happens that usually would throw you off your game, and you're like, wait, this isn't really affecting me.
Right.
I'm okay. Yeah. I mean, that's the key.
For sure. I mean, it's a good reminder to check in. Mm-hmm. So check in with your veggies. If you're not getting the 3 cups a day,
Mm-hmm.
then there's some improvements to be made, and simple changes can make those happen, and the effects you can have on your life are just incredible.
And for me, I think one of the motivations to be a healthier person, I was so driven by superficial motivations before. Going for these deeper motivations, like being consistently happy, like, being consistently healthy, like, being an example of health in the world over, just looking hot naked or fitting into this size jeans, or just shifting. That is so powerful.
It is.
And it gives you real substance. Like, it gives you something, sustenance, I guess it is. It gives you something to really leech onto, and it's like, oh yeah, this is why I'm doing this. And it just becomes deeper, and your motivation becomes deeper. It's unshakable.
Thank you for sharing that, because, we can get really superficial with this, and I can't.
Yeah, and that's fine too. Like, not to shade any superficiality. Like, we've totally turned our backs on, no one wants to admit that they want to look good.
Mm-hmm.
But the reality is we all do want to look good. But it should, if you go for the deeper of, and then the result is looking good, that's where you stick. That's what your stay. And that's what will drive you longer. Because if you're just like trying really hard to diet and you're really uncomfortable and like you're just focused on, I'm just trying to get skinny, I'm not having fun, I'm not drinking, I'm not going with friends. If that's your motivation, then yeah, of course you're going to resent it and you're going to go off.
Definitely.
Because being skinny isn't enough motivation in life.
No, it's so true. And in my practice, I'm so focused on the root cause. And this really is the root of eating healthy. This is the root of eating more vegetables. You're right. What is the core foundational? What's the reason? What's
your real reason? What's your real motivation? What's the deeper thing?
Happiness, consistent health. I love that. I think it's really important to check in with.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing. That's Healthy Rebel Radio for today. Thank you for listening, and have a great day.
See you.
Healthy Rebel Radio is presented by the online health and wellness center, DamiHealth.com. Since 2009, Amy Lane has successfully coached thousands of women through her signature program, the Bikini Body Program. Join today to work exclusively with Amy to unveil your greatest yet to be from the inside out. Go to DamiHealth.com for more information.
Thank you for listening to Healthy Rebel Radio. Please connect with us on our community pages on Facebook, Pinterest, and Instagram, all at the handle @DamiHealth. For weekly recipes, articles, and all our episodes straight to your inbox, join our newsletter at DamiHealth.com. You can find all the links discussed in today's episode in the show notes. Thank you for joining us, and see you tomorrow.